Hey, it's Squidly. I'm getting ready to go on an early summer backpacking trip here in Alabama, and I wanted to show you what a deep south summer backpacking loadout looks like. Okay, this is everything except my food bag, and it is 12.22 pounds. Okay, so the weight was just for a frame of reference so you have an idea of, in the end, what all this is going to look like. So let's start out with everything that's on the outside of my backpack. First of all, there's my toilet kit. That's some toilet paper, a trowel, and some wet wipes that are dried out. Just add water, they're ready to go. My water kit, this is the Be Free, and also half a water bottle that I use as a scoop for when water is not flowing. And even though there's not supposed to be any rain on this trip, I brought my rain top just in case. Also on the outside, I have a nighttime relief bottle and my Picardin, because ticks and mosquitoes on this trip will be a problem. Wait a minute, I just forgot. Okay, I'm missing two things. I'm missing 2 water bottles. I do not have water bottles here. Of course, I wouldn't count water as a part of my base weight anyway, but the bottles would count, and they would maybe be a couple of ounces. Also on the outside, I carry a sit pad, which I don't really sit on. I just use it kind of as a doormat. It makes it really convenient for getting in and out of the tent without getting myself wet or dirty. Come on. The dog was scratching at the door. I had to let him in, or that's all you were going to hear. What are you doing, boy? Also on the outside, wrapped up in the sit pad, is my Helinox Chair Zero. You're not going on a backpacking trip. You probably wouldn't make it 100 yards. Now for what's on the inside of the pack. My cook pot, stove, and a fuel canister. These actually will go in the food bag. I'll go ahead and put those there now. For extra clothes, the only extra clothes I'm taking, 1 pair of extra socks, because there's one day where I will definitely get my feet wet, and a sun hoodie. My old school ditty bag. In here I have the chafing protection. My repair kit, this is gear repair and Squidly repair. My electronics bag, this is mostly just charging cables and a battery bank. My headlamp, which is also rechargeable. And my personal care, this is medication, toothbrush, toothpaste. One thing I failed to mention that's on the outside of my pack is the hip belt pouch. And the only thing that's in there is my diabetic care stuff. I almost exclusively use that hip belt pouch for needles, my mealtime insulin, and my nighttime insulin. Now back to the inside. My tent, and this also includes the stakes and a ground cloth. This is the Z-Packs Plexamid. Now, in my pack, I have a trash compactor bag to keep things dry that need to definitely stay dry, just in case there's a freak thunderstorm or Squidly loses his footing and falls in the creek. And it's basically my sleep system. My Therm-A-Rest Airhead pillow. God, I love this thing. It's a little bit heavy, but it is worth every ounce. It makes for good sleep. And the sleeping pad. It's also a Therm-A-Rest. Finally, the last thing that I have in here, the last thing that I'm going to go over taking, is my sleeping bag. This is a summer sleeping bag. Honestly, I bought this thing, let's see, this is 22. So I bought this 21 years ago. It's just a Dick's Sporting Goods summer bag. It's a 40 degree. I've used it more times than I can count. It's inexpensive, but it's lightweight. And for a summer trip where the only time, honestly, that you really need it is early in the morning where it may get a little bit cool, to have something over you just to keep from getting cold, this is perfect. I really do like this bag. This sleeping bag kind of makes the point that not every piece of gear that you see from backpackers on YouTube has to be the most expensive thing out there. This is a really inexpensive, even now, never mind 21 years ago, this would be an inexpensive sleeping bag to get at a Dick's Sporting Goods. And it's synthetic, so it's not down. It's just an inexpensive, just a perfect piece for summer. Now to kind of tie this together, we're talking about summer in the Deep South. This is not like summer in the White Mountains or summer in the Rocky Mountains or summer really anywhere north of here where it has the potential to get cold during the night, even though it's summertime. In the Deep South, summertime means that it's going to be, even in the middle of the night, it's going to be pretty warm at a minimum and humid and typically pretty buggy. So the idea of like cowboy camping and not having to take a tent, that's not really realistic, because if you do that, you're just going to get eaten alive by mosquitoes or ticks over the course of the night. So you still have to have a tent. The sleeping bag, like I said before, is really only for early in the morning where the temperature might dip below a point where it's really comfortable. On this trip, I think the lows are supposed to be kind of on the shoulders of 60 degrees, which gets down to pretty comfortable, but you still may want to have something to throw over you. And most people I know really can't sleep without something over them, even if it's just a sheet anyway. As far as extra clothes go, the more backpackers, especially experienced backpackers that you talk to, the more you get the idea that taking extra clothes is really pointless. Most people have this idea that they would like to put on something fresh. Well, putting fresh clothes onto a stinking body is not really going to improve matters. So the fact is, whether you have fresh clothes or not, you're going to smell. So it's just not even worth taking the extra weight. The clothes that I'm wearing, I will wear for the entire trip, and I'm only taking that extra pair of socks because my feet will get wet one day, and taking that sun hoodie in case at night the temperature drops down to where having some sleeves and maybe that hood would feel good. The last piece of gear that I haven't mentioned is the actual backpack itself. This is the Z-Packs Arc Haul, and honestly, it's a little bit big for a trip like this in the summer where I'm not taking a lot of extra heavier winter clothes and winter sleeping bags. So I kind of, on a trip like this, wish that I had something a little bit smaller, but I don't. But anyway, it's a really lightweight and durable and comfortable backpack. I really enjoy this. Okay, that's what I'm taking on a summer backpacking trip. If you have some different ideas or a different way that you configure yours, let me know that in the comments. Let's have a conversation about it. As always, on the way out, don't forget to hit like and subscribe.